And it looks as if there's maybe some sort of trench running around just inside the edge of the bread, possibly to keep the food from falling off like a pizza crust.
Exactly.
Those breads were sometimes called mensae, or singular mensa, and would be similar to the trenchers of the Middle Ages. They were just there to kind of hold your food like a plate. In fact, it means table. Mensa meant table. And these
still means that in Italian, sort of. If you're Spanish speaking, does that mean table? Because in Italian, mensa is actually the cafeteria. That's how we call it. Like if you have a cafeteria, either, for instance, in a university or in a public building, we would call it la mensa.
Tables are referred to in another Virgil poem called the Aeneid. In it, the hero Aeneas is given a prophecy that he will establish a new city, but not before a deadly famine has come upon you. And the guilt of our blood drives you to gnaw round the edges of your tables, to put them between your teeth and eat them. We'll flash forward, and he and his men are now in Italy, and they're eating a rather meager meal of some fruit piled atop bread, and then they start eating the bread, and Aeneas realizes, look! We are eating even our tables. This is our home. So in a way, Italy was founded through the eating of pizza. Now, to make this version of ancient Roman pizza, what you'll need is 1 cup or 250 grams of active dough starter. Mine is from whole wheat, but you can use a regular batch of sourdough starter. Either will work. 2 cups or 475 milliliters of warm water. 4 cups or 500 grams of whole wheat flour. 3 tablespoons of olive oil.
Athena's olive oil.
1 tablespoon of salt, and 2 tablespoons of honey.
Honey.
Start by whisking the salt into the flour, and then add your starter and the water. Combine these until somewhat incorporated.
Okay, that's fantastic. I don't want to watch the whole thing. So if you want to watch the process, do click his video. I'll put a link in the description, of course, and the pinned comment. Oh, he's showing, this is good. This is Pompeii. Okay, let me see what he's going to talk about now.
Up with ash and pumice, but he died soon after on the beaches from noxious gases coming down from the mountain. But little did he know that that ash that was burying his friend's villa along with the cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum, well, that ash would also preserve those places better than perhaps.
So this is basically the ancient Roman version of a fast food, if you will. So the food will be placed inside these containers. They're like pretty much like amphorae, and then they will be closed, right? Because you could have soup with meat or cereals and that kind of stuff, and then pulse, for example. And then someone would come in and they would pay, order whatever they want, grab it, and probably eating it standing. This would be very common in the big cities, such as Roma itself. I imagine you could also get a little bread to accompany your quick meal. And they would make a profit doing this, and probably would have been very busy with a lot of people in here, possibly even soldiers, because remember, Roman legionaries in the city would have a little bit of a police function as well. So you could have a couple of legionaries in armor coming in, eating the food, maybe talking here. You could hear a little bit of Latin being spoken loudly here, not so loudly there. It would have been amazing.
Any from the ancient Roman world. Cold comfort to him, but a boon for us 2,000 years later who can learn so much about ancient Roman life from those sites. From the city's gladiators to its brothels to, of course, its food. And speaking of brothels and food, hic habitat felicitas. Here dwells happiness, sometimes translated as here dwells good fortune. And those words are inscribed along with, of all things, a phallus, and then hung above not a brothel, but a bakery. Because happiness indeed, bread is good fortune. Bakeries, or pistrina, are all over the archaeological sites at Pompeii and Herculaneum.
Sounds just like modern Italy, bakeries everywhere.
About 35 having been found so far. One of the most famous is the bakery of Modestus, which, when excavated in 1862, included 81 loaves of abandoned bread, the baker having fled the city with...
That looks exactly like the bread we see in iconography, exactly, with these kind of predetermined slices, which probably, I imagine this is something you would sell to the public, or even for household use. Man, it looks exactly like it.
Is baking still in progress. These loaves were the panis quadratus, perhaps the most famous bread of ancient Rome, which is depicted on several frescoes from Pompeii and is made of 8 sections formed by 4 lines. hence the quadratus. And I did an entire video on this bread way back when I first started the channel. I think it was just a few months in, so I'll put that, and you'll have to forgive the fact that I'm pretty sure I have no facial hair in that video. Now, another famous bakery is that of Popidius Priscus.
Yeah, that happened to me too. I absolutely understand.
And it's because his mill room, where he has his giant millstones, is so well preserved. He had 4 large millstones made of basalt lava, and these were usually turned by donkeys.
Wow.
There's actually an ancient Roman poem called The Golden Ass by Lucius Apuleius Africanus that describes...
Oh my gosh, the title. Oh, that title, The Golden Ass.